this is Fan Formula on the 5th of August. My how time flies. This is the 55% one, so we'll get down to questions. Question 1. Out of all the races so far, which one have you enjoyed watching the most and why? It's hard not to like Silverstone, just as a race, just in itself being English. But I think because of my Williams biases and Williams tendencies, I'm going to have to say it was Circuit de Catalunya, Spain, Pastor Maldonado's Grand Prix victory. That was one of my favourite wins. I had to leave the room. I was that tense watching it. I've never experienced that as a fan before. So getting so tense I couldn't watch what was going on. I had to leave the room. So that was probably my favourite one to watch. Question 2. Which team has impressed you the most so far this season and why? Well, I'd say there are 3 teams. Ferrari, for starting off with a dog of a car, yet somehow Fernando Alonso just making it work. Williams for getting a car that, rather than fighting for the back end of the back end of the grid, is now sort of fairly regularly in the points and has taken a victory, granted a freak one, but it's still a victory. And I think Lotus as well, because I know they haven't won yet, but even without a race victory, Raikkonen and Raikkonen's up there and quite potentially a very dark horse for the championship. Likewise, Lotus are quite dark horses themselves for the constructors. So perhaps overall, Lotus is the one that has impressed me the most. Question 3. I'm a BBC viewer because I'm not saying the Sky coverage is bad. Just on principle with Rupert Murdoch's business dealings, etc. On principle, I won't get it. But BBC, 11 races in. How are you finding live highlights? The live stroke highlights coverage on the BBC. The live coverage is still good. There are occasions on the highlights coverage where it feels like they're having to really pull it in. But the thing that sort of annoys me on the highlights coverage a little bit is they do this whole they cut bits of the race out. Granted, it might be boring, but I'd still like to see most of the race. And then they go on to this whole bit of, they have sort of 7 or 8, well, they have 5 or 6 sort of McLaren, and they have this piece of music, and then show what position they're in. They go, McLaren have done X, Y, and Z. Jensen was here, Lewis was there. We've got someone here, and now we're going to listen to what Jensen had to say. That bit gets annoying on the coverage, the BBC. But that said, that's the only thing that gets annoying. Apart from Eddie Jordan's shirt choices, obviously. And the bonus question, what do you think has been the biggest blunder in the F1 season so far? The FAA decision, Bahrain GP stewards, penalty mistake by an F1 team, driver error, that anything feels gone wrong this season so far? Well, I'm guessing a lot of people are going to say McLaren's pit stops has been the biggest blunder of the season so far. What I'm going to say is HRT have been the biggest blunder of the season so far. I don't agree with Bahrain going ahead, but it happened, and thankfully no one was hurt. So on balance, that was okay to go there. But HRT, they've just not stepped up the game. They've not got the Minardi-esque spirit about them like Marussia and Caterham. They don't have the same Minardi spirit, but they at least try and capture some of it. HRT have it's just making up the numbers. It's not even a place for the new guys just to learn the tracks. You know, if Bruno Senna and Chandok had done a complete season in HRT, then went to another team, that would have been a perfect start. Because whilst it would have been the best car, they would have known the tracks. Whereas they're using Arthur Kane. He might be a quick driver, but he's not a good F1 driver. And Pedro de la Rosa, he's needed to get that team moving forward, but it's not moving forward enough. So I would say HRT are the biggest blunder of this season so far. And that's the end of this Fan Formula. Just gone through some Storm Space production stuff. Still needing a voice for the Where's My Liberty Machinima. If you're interested, send a tweet at CWhite90999 or at StormSpaceProd. The other video that's been in the editing process for a long time is nearly done. It's nearly ready. So that should be out in the next few weeks. But if you're interested in doing any sort of voice for us, just send send a tweet. The end of Fan Formula and the end of this, so see you for the next one.